Morning at 7:29.
Just Brakes.
I met your pads and shoes at Just Brakes.
Just Brakes installs new pads and shoes on all four wheels for $99.88.
Really? Including installation?
Yes, ma'am. Just Brakes also machines, rotors, and drums and inspects your brake system for any other problems.
Just Brakes installs pads and shoes on all four wheels and machines, rotors, and drums for just $99.88. Why do you do it, Just Brakes?
Forgot about cars and light trucks. Additional repairs may be required at additional cost. $6 shop supply fee not included. You know, when I get my tires, it's reassuring to know I'm getting the most for my money. And the Sears Blue Automotive Group protects my car by offering an alignment after they've installed them. Now my tires should last longer, and I can drive away feeling safe and happy. Through February 24th, save on all tires. Plus, get automotive batteries for as low as $49.98 with exchange. And go to SearsAuto.com to get other great offers, including a coupon for a conventional valvoline oil change for only $21.99 with no shop fees. Sears Auto Center. Exclusions apply. See store for details. As a police officer, I had the duty to investigate hundreds of crime scenes and accidents in our community. As an attorney, that experience has proven invaluable. I'm Mark Nation of the Nation Law Firm. Call 1-800-NATION-LAW, main office, Longwood. Market by the Airport Zone Pro. Parents relaxing.
The kids playing at the house.
Family vacation returns to Control.
At timesharesbigrounder.com.
When you're a door best, there's reports will notice.
I can't believe Grandma can have funky chickens.
Don't you get it? We know getting checkups, cancer screenings, and flu shots are simple things you need to do to stay healthy. That's why we stay in touch with phone calls and mailing reminders. Learn which health screenings can help you at Humana.com/live-well-now or call 1-866-723-5337, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Friday. Live February 5 continues with news from the Fox Orlando News Center on 940 WFLA.
On Michelle Malone, 530 WFLA News. A 16-year-old in jail charged in the murder of a St. Petersburg police officer earlier this week.
The juvenile's name is Nicholas Lemon Lindsay. Black male, 16 years old. He goes to school at Pinellas County School.
Police Chief Chuck Harmon said 3 tips led officers to the team, and police are still looking for the gun. The team has a prior juvenile criminal record, but Harmon didn't give details. The team shot and killed Officer David Crawford Monday night as Officer Crawford was responding to the report of a prowler in the neighborhood near Tropicana Field. It is the eve of what is hoped to be the start of the final mission for Shuttle Discovery. A smooth countdown continues at Kennedy Space Center, with off set for 4:50 tomorrow afternoon, and weather is looking pretty good. The mission has been postponed a number of times since November due to cracks on the external fuel tanks, but those cracks have been repaired, and launch managers say the tank is stronger than ever. After tomorrow's launch, there are just 2 more shuttle missions to fly before the program is retired. A man accidentally shot and killed himself while cleaning his shotgun. Volusia County Sheriff spokesman Gary Davidson says 49-year-old Jeffrey Williams was already dead by the time rescue workers arrived around 5:20 Tuesday afternoon. The man's wife found his body and called 911. Davidson said the sheriff's office is treating the death as an accidental shooting, but an autopsy will be conducted to confirm the findings. An economist at the University of Florida tracking consumer confidence in the Sunshine State reports that things in February were relatively unchanged from January. Chris McCarty says that's a good thing. Consumer confidence was 77 in February, the same figure as months before.
The rise in optimism is probably in line with obviously the force and still have a job, which is most of them here in Florida.
McCarty said he thought the January numbers had been an anomaly, but it appears they weren't. 530 WFLA News Time 732. I'm Michelle Malone. Get these stories and more at 530WFLA.com. Coming up, more DHS. From the Big Lots, Volkswagen Labor Island Traffic Center. Eastbound I-4 is slow going now from the 408 through downtown. And things with heavy traffic westbound in between Lake Barry Boulevard and 436. Mostly slow from E. Williamson just past 436. The 408, 528, and the Turnpike all accident free. They are clear along the Greenway as well. Other than some areas of heavy fog that may slow you down just a bit. Get reports of a wreck along Econ Trail and Lafayette College Lane that may slow you down. More traffic center on Courtney Bray.
Stay in the know, on the go with the Orlando Sentinel News app. It's free and available for iPhone or Android. Download the free Orlando Sentinel News app.
Great app.
Sponsored by the law offices of Cruz and Pescara, personal injury attorneys. Officer Center, I am Dustin Lyle, and I
Apache midnight dog. Weather is updated around the clock on 540 WSOH, the 34 reports on the Weather Channel.
We've had hostages taken by pirates off Somalia, these Muslim pirates off Somalia, but we've never had Americans killed. We can no longer say that. 4 people brutally murdered by pirates off the coast of Somalia. Gene and Scott Adam from California were sailing the world, distributing Bibles, accompanied by friends Phyllis McKay and Bob Riggle. So far, President Obama, for reasons I cannot comprehend, has basically remained silent on this. But let's get some more perspective. I've got a get-tough stance that I fleshed out in the first hour here about what we ought to do. I mean, we just cannot accept this and take this and not respond to it. That's my view. But right now, I want to bring on Captain Raymond Brown, joining us now, Director of Intelligence for Total Security Services International, former Chief of Intelligence Analysis for the U.S. Coast Guard, and a U.S. Navy Surface Warfare Officer. Captain, welcome to Bud Hedinger Live, Clear Channel Orlando. Thanks for coming on our show.
Good to be with you, Bud.
Your response to what has happened in this horrendous tragedy and where we need to go from here.
Well, it is indeed a tragedy, and I do believe that the commanding officer of USS Sterett was doing everything he could, but he wasn't dealing with rational people. Clearly, the pirates were arguing among themselves. Then one was crazy enough to fire a rocket-propelled grenade at a U.S. Navy warship, which is a suicide wish. Where do I think we need to go? Well, the outrage has hit the United States yet again, but we could not free these 4 as we did Richard Phillips some 2 years ago.
Well, that was the Maersk that was taken, and Navy SEALs, sharpshooters, took out the pirates as they were holding this guy, killed him.
Absolutely. SEAL Team 6, flown out of Norfolk area of Virginia, all halfway across the world, and did an absolutely wonderful job.
But Captain, help me on something that was a big controversy on this show earlier. President Obama has taken credit for giving the order for the sharpshooters to take these guys out and save the captain of the ship. There was intense debate about whether or not he actually ever gave that order, or if the captain of the ship with the sharpshooters on it gave the call.
As I understand it, the president delegated authority if the commanding officer of the ship believed that the life of Captain Phillips was in imminent danger.
So it's not a direct order to take him out.
No, it was the...
Yeah, all right.
Did the right thing. Delegated the authority to the commanding officer on scene, which, as somebody who has been in that position, that is the right thing to do.
What needs to happen now in response to the slaughter of these 4 Americans, something we have not seen before at the hand of these pirates?
No, it's an absolute tragedy, and I hope that the 15 captives we have are not taken to Kenya but taken to the United States. And since the Somali pirates give 20% of their profits, or are forced to give it, to Islamist militants in Somalia, I think they should be treated as terrorists and sent to Guantanamo Bay for the rest of their natural lives. Then I think the United States would do very well to increase the interdiction rate, not of some 12 ships in 12 months, 12 pirate ships, but how about 12 in 12 days? And, again, send all of them to Guantanamo Bay and their vessels to the bottom of the ocean, and that will make a real difference, not just in lessons learned, but in losses to the organization. Interdiction over time, they can react to. Over a short period of time, they cannot, and that is the way to accomplish this mission.
Why do you believe we have just for so many years accepted the scourge of these pirates off Somalia?
Well, frankly, most of the ships, all of the ships taken, and they have some 30 in custody now, are not U.S. flag ships. The 685 people in custody are not American citizens. And for the international community, both ship owners and maritime businessmen, this has unfortunately been acceptable losses in terms of profit and loss. Perhaps not in human terms, but that is not the way people are thinking.
But this is a game changer.
States, so maybe we will react accordingly now.
What would you have the president do as commander-in-chief? And I'm wondering also if it was quite clear that the pirates on the ship had murdered the 4 innocent Americans, Why didn't the Navy guys take out the pirates on the spot?
Well, as soon as the rocket-propelled grenade was fired and they heard shots aboard, immediately, and I'm not sure that it was SEALs, U.S. Marines, Coast Guard law enforcement detachment, or some combination thereof, immediately proceeded, did kill 2 of the pirates. The 4 victims were still alive. And, of course, 2 pirates were aboard USS Sterett negotiating with the Navy and the FBI at that time. I think the Navy reacted as quickly as they could. They were only 600 yards away, and for a cruiser of 9,200 tons, that looks like it's 12 feet away from a yacht. Believe me, I think they did everything they could. The question is, what are we going to do now? And this should not be a pinprick or a diplomatic response. It should be a strong response, not only taking these 15 into custody and keeping them in United States custody, but exacting a price from the pirates. I think we should identify all the pirates and the motherships that are out there, tell them, get into your boats, your vessel is going to the bottom of the ocean, and it's going so very quickly. You've got 1 minute to decide.
I want to thank you, Captain Raymond Brown, for your service to our country, for coming on the show with your perspectives on this horrendous tragedy. Raymond Brown, Director of Intelligence, Total Security Services International, former Chief of Intelligence Analysis for the U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. Navy Surface Warfare Officer. If folks want to connect to you, my friend, how do they do it?
Our website is www.tssi-inc.com, and happy to help out anytime.
We salute you, Captain Raymond Brown. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Bye.
All right. What do you think we ought to do? Now we've got 4 Americans dead. We're not just talking about a ransom situation and hostages. We're talking about the slaughter of 4 completely unarmed and innocent Americans at the hands of these Muslim Somali pirates. What would Ronald Reagan do? He'd blow some ships out of the water with pirates on them. We haven't even heard a word from President Barack Obama. 407-916-5400 at 742. I'll take your calls as we check real-time traffic and weather together now on the twos. Fog is lifting, sunshine forecast, 78 for the high, 60 degrees here in Orlando. And one more thing. I fervently believe that what happened with the murder of those 4 Americans was far less likely to have happened if we had a strong president like George W. Bush or Ronald Reagan as commander-in-chief. This president is weak.